right. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This is what we call on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm actually in the Central Time Zone, but I am so glad that you are here and that you're dialing into the Real Money Coach Show. Please put in the chat. You know how we do. Put it in the chat where you are watching from, what city, what state, what location you are watching from, so that we can recognize you and say hello. So we're excited about today because you know what? We're tired. I'm going to tell you why we're tired, because we had the Power Networking Experience and Expo last week in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's going to be our focus on tonight. Is we're going to be talking about our experience at the Power Networking Experience and Expo. I do want to say to all of you who are tuning in and watching this evening that we will be, or I will be, actually going to be speaking at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church this Sunday at 10:45. And so if you are local and you want to come and be a part of that, come on out to Mount Carmel, which is on Tuckasegee Road, and you can join in and just pray for you. Boy, I need an amen corner. I'm trying to draft from my Real Money Coach family. I'm trying to draft me an amen corner. So if y'all can make it, come on out and say amen. Keep your boy in prayer. So we are excited again about the conference. We're excited about a lot of things that's going on. And so what we're going to do today is probably have a pretty abbreviated show, but I do have not only my co-host that many of you who are watching have gotten to meet for the first time. Now, I don't even know if y'all there because ain't nobody put nothing in the chat yet. So I'm waiting for somebody to put something in the chat that I'm here. Right. There we go. We got the Rainmaker. All right. Thank you, Janice, for letting us know that you are watching. And what we discovered, even at the conference, so many of you watch the show, but you never say anything in the chat. You never talk back to us. And so we're so thrilled about that. So in addition to my co-host, which we'll bring on here in any minute now, in addition to her, we also have Kimberly McGuinn is going to join us. We also have Timothy Day, and we also have Lauren King Darden that will be with us. She's part of Michelle's fabulous team. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And so without any further ado, now listen, y'all ain't gonna get all that clapping and stuff that you normally get because your boy is running the controls on the show today. So we just gonna be like, bam, Michelle, there you are. Oh.
You didn't get me ready or nothing.
That's how we're gonna do it tonight, okay? Right. Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good, Tony. How you doing?
Good. Hey, are you rested?
Man, I probably need 2 more days to rest because I jumped into Monday running. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty awesome 4 days.
Yes.
And just tell us a little bit about your feedback. What did you think of it?
Yeah, my feedback. So guys, Tony has been telling me about this conference for the last at least 5 years, maybe 7. He's been going. And he said, it's coming to the Queen City, Michelle. You got to come. And I'm him and Han. And then he said, Michelle, I got you a table. I'm like, dang it, nah, I got to go. But so I didn't really know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised at the caliber of people who were in attendance. So we did have a great time. We met a lot of people. The conference from the stage all had really good speakers, which I always enjoy. So, but what I was fascinated by is just walking through the halls of the conference and people like looking at me like, I think I know her. And a few people I think I know you, but I don't know where. And I'm like, you ever watch the Real Money Coach show? I'm the Sparkle.
You're the Sparkle. It's like, That's where
Yeah,
I know
that's
you
where I
from.
know you from.
That's where I
Yeah.
know you from. That's where I know you from. And
So you're right. A lot of people watch, but they don't say anything.
they don't say
Yeah, but they are
anything,
watching.
but they
Yeah.
are watching. And we appreciate all y'all who are
Yeah, we
watching.
do.
And we appreciate especially those who comment and let us know that you are watching and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So Michelle, I'm gonna ask you this, and we'll ask each guest, and the group is going to grow, right? It's going to grow because we're going to keep adding people to it.
Right.
What was who was your favorite main stage speaker? Your boy excluded. Okay, you got to exclude.
Right.
I'm gonna take that pressure off of you. So who was your favorite main stage speaker?
Right. You know you're gonna make me draw a blank. But
Or maybe two.
on the first day, Marley. Marley.
Rohan Marley. Rohan Marley
yes.
was
amazing.
phenomenal.
Yes.
And
yes.
honestly, I didn't know what to expect from, because you think
Right.
Marley, you think music, you've seen the movie. I was not expecting
No, I wasn't either.
at all.
Yeah.
But his story was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
Is there a tidbit that you picked up from, or something that stands out in something he said?
I really enjoyed his story about how all the things at the end of the day were all connected. They were all connected to him. When he used the money from his father to purchase the coffee farm, but then he had a roadblock of getting the documents from the government so that he can export the coffee.
Right.
He was blocked. So he had a farm and he couldn't sell outside of Jamaica.
Right.
Right. And then later on, he went on a retreat to Ethiopia, and he got connected with the origin of coffee in Ethiopia and how that all connected back to his farm. And now, and then he did his clothing line and how the art from the clothing line is now on the packaging for the coffee. Like I just really enjoyed that story.
Everything intertwined together.
Everything intertwined. Yes, as he went on. So even when you're in business, even if you have a setback, it is an opportunity for a learning lesson. You don't know where it might take you if you don't quit. And that's the one thing he didn't do. He did not quit. Even though he didn't know what to do with it, he didn't quit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that story. And I really enjoy the family legacy part of it.
The family legacy piece of it.
Yeah. And then even as he was joking around with Delano, saying Delano wanted to touch his dad's body. I was like, man, I don't know where your hands have been. And then the whole thing about his brothers, like, oh, don't talk about my brothers.
Right.
And it's like, and he took that very serious. Like, that's
did.
I don't joke about my family.
I don't joke about my family. Yes.
And if we all were defenders of our family and our legacies, the way he did it, I think it would make a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
So that was your favorite on stage speaker. And I know you had exhibit and all that kind of stuff. Did you get a chance to make it to any of the workshops?
I made it to a couple of the workshops. I went to the Google workshop, which was enlightening. Like, there's so much about Google that we just don't know.
Right.
And I use Google every day. We went to that one. And then I went to, I wish I could remember her name.
Cheryl Wood.
Was it Michelle? No.
Cheryl.
Was it Cheryl? Maybe.
I'm not sure if that's the one you went to or not.
She did the AI podcasting AI.
Oh, okay.
And it's just amazing what you can do with AI. You
Yes.
know, if you don't have time, it shortens your work.
It
You know,
just makes you so much more efficient.
it makes you so much more efficient. So what I learned from Google and what I learned from her session is how to leverage technology for your benefit, you
Right.
know? And I
Right.
know AI is new to most consumers, but we've been using AI since like 2017 probably, you know. Because all AI is a database that moves really fast.
Well, it's
Yeah.
internet on hyperspeed, right?
Yes,
So
it is. Yes.
um yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I just find that it just collapses so much time.
So much
Again,
time. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
did a piece on the radio that just talked about how to use AI to be more profitable
Mhm.
as a small business owner.
Mhm.
You know, because I mean, you can streamline
Mhm.
your, I mean, even from your books and just
Mhm.
a lot of different things that you can do it. And a
Yeah.
lot of things involve AI that we don't even realize that it
True.
is AI.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. So Michelle, you came to the Power Network. Finally got you the Power Network conference. Seeing what I and we had a debriefing meeting today, and I ended that meeting with telling the team this is like, I'm so happy for you.
Mhm.
I said, I'm so happy for you because you just experienced the life-changing event that I experienced 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has been exactly that.
Yeah.
So you did not come by yourself.
I did not
I
come
think
by
you got a
myself.
guest on tonight that came with you. You want
Yes.
to introduce her?
Sure. I want to introduce you guys to Lauren King Darden. She is the business advisor for Mitchell Consulting. And Lauren has been with Mitchell Consulting since 2020. And like, I just love Lauren. Um, and you know, she's a trooper. She went with me to a conference 2 weeks ago, and then she went with me to the Power Networking Conference, and she's talked about.
I don't want you to say anything about, I want to hear it from
Okay.
her. I want to
Yes.
hear from her what she felt like the difference was between the two conferences is what we're going
Mm,
to do.
this will be
And
interesting.
I think that might be kind of interesting if you
Yes.
do that. And so we are going to bring her on here momentarily. Momentarily, we are going to do it. So at this point, let's bring on Miss Laura. Laura.
Oh, I'm proud of you, Tony.
Hey, hey.
You got a standing
How
ovation.
about that? I did it. There we go. Hey. I think you're muted,
Yeah,
Lauren.
you're
I
muted,
think you're
Lauren.
muted.
Okay, there you go.
Welcome to the Real Money Coach Show. Long time no see. How you doing?
Oh, we still can't hear you. We heard you before.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you
Okay,
now.
we're good. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. How are y'all?
Good. How are you doing? How was your
Good.
trip home?
It was great. I was telling Michelle that on Sunday I'm not talking to nobody. Hmm. Yeah, and I didn't.
I know on Sunday, I woke up and I was presiding over our church service, and I was like, man, my voice is kind of
Mhm.
weak this morning. What's going on? So
Talk too
so
much.
tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get a little bit into the conference.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Lauren King Darden. I'm a business advisor at Mitchell Consulting. I've been with them for 4 years. I started my career in public accounting, and then I went to internal audit, and now I am doing a plethora of things at Mitchell Consulting. So it's really exciting. I also had to get into kind of sales and lead generation, and so these conferences are really key to meeting new people and getting new clients, and it's superly stretching maybe my skills or areas of excellence. And so I really had no idea what to expect from the power networking. But I will say ultimately it was a really good experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've gone to conferences before, and what would you say was the difference with this conference versus maybe some others that you went? And I know you went to one recently, and I know each conference has its own culture, all that kind of stuff. So just give us a little insight.
So the conference we went to before was kind of like an industry conference for accountants. So obviously the personalities of people there were very different. It also was mostly, I mean, are you able to talk? It's mostly white people. So when you go to Power Networking as a Black business, I just like, I don't know. I don't want to be offensive or anything, but like there is a difference when you go to Power Networking. There's just a layer that makes things a little bit more comfortable, and people kind of just automatically have respect for what you do, and they don't challenge you in that kind of. So then you can just talk like business to business without having to prove your worthiness of, working with people.
Well, so, and here's how I say it is that, our primary customers are African-American people of color, but it not only, right? Not only. So it's Black first, but not Black only. And there's some comfort level, and I think it's not just with ethnic groups, right? So it could be, whatever ethnic group with another ethnic group, and there's some barriers that you don't have to kind of break down in order to get to that next level of business or what have you, right? And the same thing I think with women, right? So when you're working with other women, I think there's a connection there. You don't have to worry about that whole male chauvinist type of thing in getting involved there as well. But, I was having a conversation today is that, we've come a long way in that, because I can remember when I first came into business, I mean, talking about some money and and if you're talking about significant money, the Black folks didn't want to work with us either. It's like, no, but a real term where we want to support our own businesses, and we're just as good as anybody else. And so I love that. I love that. So I'm going to ask you the same question. I know I'm not sure if you were in the main room and heard any of the main speakers, but just highlight one of them for us, that if you were able to get.
I had a couple that stood out. I would have to agree with Michelle that Rohan Marley was one of my favorites, just because I love Bob Marley, and I was like slightly starstruck that his son was there. And then hearing the stories about the family, like that was brethren right there. So that felt really, it was cool to see him. But I will say another speaker that stood out, because we were going back and forth between the room. So we saw some people. Oh, let me think. Let me get a good one. Of course, I got to shout out my pastor, Pastor Stories.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Reverend of Stories. It was actually great listening to the conversation in the interview, and seeing like how he talks about the church that I grew up in. Is like I was there when all of this things he discussed was being like implemented and created. So it was just cool to see, like, man, that's true. All of that did happen.
What's interesting, when I met him, we were on a panel together talking about financial literacy. And when he came on the show, the thing that was really interesting to me is he talked about, here he was the pastor, right? He had a Cadillac and all of this. And he said, I was doing okay, but the church wasn't. And he said, and we have these churches, and I wasn't able to catch all of him. I caught a portion of them, got a chance to say hello and all that kind of stuff with him after he was done. But he said, so we're walking around saying the church is debt free, but yet we preach from the pulpit that we are the church. So the only way the church to be debt free is for all of us to be debt free.
Yeah, members.
So, but anyway,
absolutely. So it's a huge deal what he did, and kind of seeing it from the outside now, I see like how important it is to be debt free and delinquency free and all that he was teaching. So that was really cool. And then I would say the other speaker that stood out was the guy from Google. And they made it fun because there was a game. So, but definitely talking about Gemini, basically their version of ChatGPT, and how they have created improvements and how we can use it more practically, and even in some ways that we may not think of, like kind of off the top of our heads. I really enjoyed that interview as well.
Now, was that Brian? Do you remember? It was the real tall guy.
I know he was bald.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, Michelle, he was at church on Sunday.
He was at church. Yeah, not that guy. He wasn't the guy on the stage.
He was okay.
He was the guy at the table.
Okay.
The guy on the stage was like the VP.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, he was like the VP. And it was very interactive. He used Kahoot, to go over his presentation. We had to earn points, so that was a lot of fun too. Yeah,
I think there was some giveaways.
There was some
giveaways as well. So that was a great partner.
Right.
I said we lost. We did.
We were in the top like 30. Both of us
were top 30. Yeah.
We were in the top 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's interesting. And the one guy just lives not too far from us. So, and Google opened a big headquarters in Charlotte, which is another reason why everybody in America should move to Charlotte, in my opinion. Only, but so. Well, tell me that. Was this your first visit to Charlotte?
No, I actually have friends in Charlotte, but I really do enjoy the city. Real talk, there's no traffic. And there was always parking. This is unheard of because I live near DC, and it's just takes an hour to go 20 miles. So
well, and that's so important because everything is relative, because people that come from Jackson, Michigan,
right?
All this traffic, right? If someone come from New York or DMV or LA, they was like, man, it's just no traffic. So
it's a beautiful city. It's like everyone seems so cheery. I don't know. It's kind of southern, but it's like a little faster pace. So I actually always enjoy Charlotte.
It still has that southern charm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big city, but it doesn't feel big.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel big.
So, any other insights that kind of come to mind for you?
Yeah, I mean, it. I always claim to be super introverted, so it's super draining to talk to people. But I will say, every person I talked to, I felt like I had a meaningful conversation. Even if we didn't match, to help each other in business, it was still really good people to connect with. Everyone was trying to connect, so you never felt left out. It was so inclusive of everyone. It wasn't a lot of elitism in the people there to network, from my perspective at least. So I just really enjoyed that, and getting to know people's stories. I know I just walked around and talked to all the vendors because sometimes, nobody else was there yet. But overall, I would definitely recommend if you're looking to make good connections.
Yes.
Well, and I think that's what's neat too, especially with Mitchell Consulting, is because you guys are a business to business, a B2B business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times your best connections will be the other vendors.
Yes.
The other people that have booths and can afford, all that good stuff. So, well, listen, I had a few team members there as well, and I got one of them that's going to come on with us right now, and that is Timothy Day of Day Enterprises. So, without any further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. Timothy Day. Hey.
Good evening.
Hey, Timothy, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How's everyone else?
Good. Well, Timothy, of the four of us on the screen, you had the second for closest distance to travel.
Yeah.
Actually, because I've been away, I was more than you. But anyway, so well, this was your second
This is my
second conference, because I think you were in Houston either
second.
last year or
2 years ago, I
before.
think it was.
2 years ago, that first year after COVID.
Yes.
First year after COVID. So, so give us your thoughts. Who did you like from the stage the best? Well, first of all, let's do this. Tell everyone about Day One Financial first.
Okay. Well, it's Day Financial Enterprise LLC doing business as Day One Financial. And, we specialize in individual income tax preparation as well as, planning for life's changes in terms of financial planning and those types of things, retirement planning, educational funding, and helping people to develop generational wealth.
Awesome. Now, here's the thing. I always feel like when I introduce you, I have to preference this because I would say Timothy Day is a enrolled agent with the IRS. And people immediately think you work for the IRS. And I said, work for the IRS. He works against the IRS. So we have to preference that. So what's your big takeaway from the main stage? Who would that be?
Well, as we talk about the main stage, for me, I think one of the areas being an HBCU alum, the conversations that the Roberts Innovation Group had talking about the need for HBCUs, business schools in particular, to develop entrepreneurial type courses or curriculums. And that was something that was very passionate to me because that's where the opportunities are in terms of us building that generational wealth.
Got it. Well, here's interesting. The survey, and this wasn't a complete survey. This was a brief, what would you say, like an exit poll or something. It wasn't a survey that actually went out. They said that the top three presenters was Rohan Marley, and then RIG, the Roberts Innovation Group, and then third was Master P.
Master P. Yeah.
And I think Master P might have been tied with someone else, but so that kind of falls right in line. We all said that we were impressed with Rohan Marley, and then you mentioned the Roberts Innovation Group. So yeah, and again, pushing the whole HBCU agenda. I think in terms of technology, entrepreneurship, and those type of things. So another takeaway, give us another, and how would you compare your experience this time versus your experience last time?
I think I was more engaged this time. I think the first time it was a totally new experience. So this time I had an expectation of what to expect. And, sort of like Lauren said, I was much more comfortable engaging everyone this time around compared to the first time. So it was a much better experience for me this time because I got a chance to definitely engage many, many more people. And part of that was our challenge to meet 100 a day. So
yeah, we do have that challenge that we got to tell. Our team has a challenge to tell 100 people in 100 days what you do.
What we do.
So 100
It's
people.
a good challenge. Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
We have a little calendar. We're tracking it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
they have to document it. Oh,
they have to document it, and I got them the little
you got
bracelet.
the band. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder to tell 100 people in 100 days what you do.
What you do.
And we talk about is our story. So it's a particular format that we're using. So did you get a chance to attend any of the workshops?
Yeah, I did. I attended the one that J.R. Fenwick did on Flip That Stock. Stock and trading is something that's always been very interesting to me. And so I had an opportunity to go to his workshop, and he talked about how he identified the stocks to purchase, and the system that he used, he's basically buying and selling on the same day. And so he had a course on, flip that stock in terms of being able to make the money, move on to the next play.
Mhm.
So he's day trading then.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And in my understanding that he's very good at it, in fact.
Mhm.
So any nuggets, any particular nuggets that you picked up that you would
Well, I would say the real nugget is follow the system. Don't get so attached to a stock that I'm just in love with, Tesla. I'm in love with,
don't fall in love with the stock.
yeah, don't fall in love with the stock. Follow the system. When it's time to trade it.
Trade it.
But then he also talked about there are ways to make money even when the stock goes up and when the stock goes down. So being able to play the stock on both ends so that you are able to mitigate any potential losses in that way.
Mm.
So looking at those candlesticks and
Yes.
all those type of things. So
Yes.
So Michelle, what do you think about that? Timothy just said he said follow the system. Does that work in other businesses? Does that work?
Absolutely.
Tell
Like
us.
when you have a plan and you know it works, like why would you deviate from it?
Yeah.
Like it works.
Well, and we hear that sometimes, right? It's like this was really working for me, and then I stopped doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just stopped if it was
Why
really working, right?
Exactly.
So how do you instruct your clients, either one of you, in terms of following the system? How do you
Yeah, a lot of time entrepreneurs have shiny object syndrome, which means they see something else that they think might work. So they want to put their attention to that. And what I learned about doing that, I had an operations manager and she always said, let's put that on the parking lot and then we'll come back to it when we're done doing, so you don't stop what you're doing to start something else. So we put it on the parking lot so that it's still there, and if it's worthy, it'll still be there, right? So you don't disrupt what you're doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not going from one thing to the other
Right.
to the other thing.
Right.
You just kind of
Yeah.
flowing in.
Yes.
You kind of just in
Yes.
that flow
Just
and
put it
see
on the
something
parking lot.
out.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so it's like you have to learn how to finish something, right?
You have to learn how to finish. And the class I went to, the lady, dang, I wish I remembered her name. She talked about finishing. You have to finish what you started, because you don't get the fruit from what you're doing until you're finished. You got to finish the process. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You got to finish it out.
Mhm.
So I had a couple other people with some really ace people, and I know they're having trouble getting their camera on, but I'm going to see if I can bring on maybe just a voice, but let's see if that works. Evelyn, can you hear me?
I can. Hey everyone, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Evelyn?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm having video challenges. Yeah.
Now, here's the problem with that, Evelyn. You're my technology person.
Well, let me clarify. It's because of the internet, not because of me.
Oh, okay.
Because of the internet. My internet does strange things sometimes. So I'm in a less stable area, put it that way.
Gotcha. Well, I hope that Kimberly will be able to pop back on too. So, same question, Evelyn. You attended the conference. This was your first time. What was your overall impression?
It was a lot. That's my overall impression, but it was awesome at the same time. I can relate to what Timothy was saying about there being so much going on, trying to kind of capture is a lot, but I would really kind of focus on the end. Actually, there was a panel of Gen Xers, millennials, and I forgot what other group, I think Gen Z. And I confirmed what group I'm in, so I know what group I'm in now. And one of the things they talked about is, you know how we talk about, I guess, intergenerational information transfer.
Mhm.
One of the comments that was made is that sometimes it's felt like when you're younger, that the older don't always want to receive what the younger have to say.
Mm.
Either because they feel like you can't tell me anything because you're not old enough to know anything yet.
Mhm.
Or they just, for whatever reason, just have a hard time with that side of the process. So it was interesting to hear that I'm not by myself in that, and I felt that way before. But it was still a good conversation overall, because it still went back to the whole conversation about passing the baton and the importance of that and all of that. So that was awesome. And then I actually stayed and listened to Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Uh-huh.
And he was amazing. he was amazing. He talked also about the debt situation, and he acquired, I believe, New Birth right when all of the craziness was going on with it. So his conversation about pulling them out of the place they were of being billions of dollars in debt, and what that looked like was just really encouraging to hear that, and to especially hear it from a pastor, and him, just calling certain things out that you don't always hear at conferences and things of that nature. So
That's pretty awesome. I did hear that Pastor Jamal Bryant was pretty awesome. So that's and it's always so for years, Miles Monroe always closed the conference out. And
oh, okay.
Miles Monroe was the one that closed the conference out for years. And after Miles Monroe passed, it was Dr. Frank Haynes from Friendship Baptist in Dallas. And he actually stepped down because he replaced Jesse Jackson at the Rainbow Coalition. So, so they've had some great preachers in that spot, and so that's pretty awesome. Well, for me, it's just and because I've been there 6 years, and there wasn't as many, I guess, veterans this year as it normally is, but still, when I go there, it's almost kind of like family reunion sometimes, right? Because I've seen these people for a number of years, and so that's always good. But what's really awesome for me, conducting a workshop, is I don't think, as I remember, and I can't say that about everyone. Maybe in my workshop there may be one or two people that had seen me present before. So everybody was new, and not present at the conference, but even in Charlotte or whatever. So I think that was pretty. I think that was pretty awesome, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conference. It's great. To me, it's a lot of energy and all that good stuff. And so I guess if we were to take a vote, if we take a vote, would you go again?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you go
I
again.
think so. Yeah.
I'd go again. Obviously, I've been 6 years, so
Obviously.
I'm like, let's see how these client meetings go.
But the thing about it too, is the relationships that you develop that may
Yeah.
not necessarily turn into business now, but
Right.
later on.
Right.
And I actually even told the story in my workshop, is that maybe the second one I went to, we were setting up a booth, and it was like after everybody was gone, And this guy come walking through the convention center. He had some jeans on, and he had a old T-shirt on that said, and he had a hat on that said Detroit. This was in Baltimore. And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to this guy." Walking through. I actually thought he was homeless. And so I engaged with him. I have this conversation with him. And then the very next day, he was the millionaire that was on stage.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And he went to Western Michigan University.
Wow.
He graduated with Dennis. Him and Dennis Archer were Line brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And just I got a relationship with him, and long story short, he made phone calls for me at Morehouse because he gave Morehouse $1 million. But it was the relationship that, and I never got any business out of that relationship, but he did add value to my life by that, and did help us with some, try to help us with some financial aid issues at Morehouse, because I was there and he happened to call me and I said, "Where I'm at?" And he says, "Well, tell him I said this." And I told him, and they said, "Oh, come on in, let's order you lunch," But it's those relationships. And those things, and Dr. Frazier always says that your net worth, your network is your net worth.
Right.
And so when you can surround yourself by people of that caliber, you're gonna get there too. That's how I feel about it. So, well, I'll let any last word you'd like to say before we sign off here?
I just want to say, if Janice Leaks is still here, I enjoyed meeting you at the conference, because she's always one of our biggest supporters of the show. And
Absolutely.
I actually met her at the conference, and then she was sick the day she got her award. So I hope she's feeling better.
Yeah. So Janice, the Rainmaker. Well, okay, Michelle, I gotta kind of correct that. So
correct that. Okay.
The honor of the award was Thelma Leak.
Oh.
Thelma Leak. Thelma Leaks is a commissioner in Mecklenburg County.
Okay.
And she's done the Small Business Consortium and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And so she got an Icon Award, but she was ill that day and wasn't able to make it. So it wasn't our Janet. Now our Janet.
I thought it was our Janet because she wasn't on stage and they didn't have a picture. I'm like,
but I like where you're going with that. The Rainmaker, your Lifetime Icon Award. Interesting that Janice Leak and Dr. Frazier have been friends for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
For 40 years. So, so good people, all good people. Okay. Anybody else? Anything?
I did think of one more thing. And I think I talked a little bit about this with Timothy. I just enjoyed being in the same room with all these individuals that I've been on Zoom with for all these years and never had a chance to meet in person. So I just really enjoyed being in you guys' presence versus on the screen. So that was a blessing to me. It really was.
Well, that is true, because a lot of our teams, we have never met each other because we live in this virtual environment. Well, listen, that's our show for tonight, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And if you happen to be watching this replay or listening to a podcast on one of the podcasting platforms, we thank you for being a supporter of the Real Money Coach. And we'll see you next week at the same time. And with that, we're just going to say good night, everybody. And I am not ready. I have not queued up what I'm supposed to be.
Wait, Michelle, are you going to talk about your upcoming event?
Oh, yeah. I did want to say that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, I'm doing a follow-up session of a session I gave at the accounting conference to boldly step away, courageous delegation for business growth. So I'm doing a follow-up session for that. I don't know if you knew, Tony, but the session went very well. It was well attended. So I'm doing a follow-up, but it's about delegation in your business. So anyone's welcome to join. You just don't know the context of the presentation. So
Awesome.
I think it'll be cool for new people
Yeah,
to get with it.
I think it would be.
Good.
So we got to make sure we get it posted and all that
Yeah,
good
I
stuff.
put a link in the private chat if you wanted to share it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see if your boy can share this.
I don't know if
Share this link. You know what? It's gonna be in the public chat. I'm gonna put it out here, right here, like this, like so. We're gonna put it over here, and there it is in the chat. And then I got one more thing I want to do before we close out, but that'll be it from us. And here we go, right here.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities. Thank you.
Take control of your finances today with The Real Money Coach. Our free financial wellness checkup offers personalized insights and strategies to secure your financial future. Don't miss out on the clarity and confidence you deserve. Visit www.therealmoneycoach.com now. That's www.therealmoneycoach.com right now to start your journey towards financial freedom. Your future self will thank you.